Hello everyone, I'm Catherine and today I'm here to talk about a mental disorder that affects many people around the world that is called bipolar disorder. I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about this disorder, but I'm going to give you a proper definition. Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder that causes great periods of depression followed by periods of an overly happy mood that are called manic episodes. It is characterized a lot in general by mood swings, obviously, changes in sleep, energy, thinking, and behavior. When I first started hearing about this disorder, I thought there were only two types, bipolar type 1 and type 2. But more recently, while I was doing my research about this disorder, I finally realized that there are actually 5 types. Besides bipolar 1 and 2, there is cyclothymic disorder, mixed features, and rapid cycling. So, let's see the differences between all of these. Bipolar 1 is the primary type and it involves severe mood episodes from mania to depression. Bipolar 2 is a milder version of mood elevations and it involves periods of mania that alternate with periods of depression. These usually last longer, but they are not as extreme as the ones in bipolar 1. Cyclothymic disorder are brief episodes of hypomanic symptoms that alternate with brief episodes of depressive symptoms. They do not last as long as in a full hypomanic or a full depressive episode. Mixed features refers to the occurrence of simultaneous symptoms of opposite moods. A person may feel high energy, insomnia, and racing thoughts, and at the same time they may feel desperate, hopeless, even suicidal. Rapid cycling refers to having 4 or more episodes within a 12-month period. To be considered an episode, the symptoms must persist for a few days, and sometimes people have changes from high to low within the same week. Now that we've established the 4 different types of bipolar disorder, let's talk about the symptoms. Here I am talking about manic and hypomanic episodes and depressive episodes, but what is really all this about? First, I'm going to talk about the characteristics of manic episodes. Mania and hypomania are often characterized by agitation, overly excitement, impulsiveness, feeling of high energy. You start to feel a decrease in the need of sleep. You usually have racing thoughts and it's very hard for you to focus on something. Manic episodes are very dangerous for people with bipolar disorder because they tend to engage in risky situations such as impulsive sex, gambling with life savings, making foolish investments, and so on. Now, the symptoms of depression are the exact opposite. People tend to feel sad for a long period of time. They lack energy, they feel tired all the time. There's usually a change in appetite. They tend to lose interest in their hobbies and likes, and they also tend to withdraw from their family and their friends. They also have problems with memory and concentration. You also have to be careful with depressive episodes because just like in a normal depression disorder, these people may start to feel suicidal. One of the things I should bring up is bipolar disorder in teenagers and children, because teenagers do have mood swings. It's a normal characteristic of growing up and of puberty, but you have to be on the lookout to try to perceive if those mood swings are normal for their age or if they are part of a more complex disorder such as bipolar disorder. The causes of bipolar disorder are still unknown, but the doctors know that there are physical changes in the brains of people with bipolar disorder. Genetics may also have an impact in this because you're more likely to have bipolar disorder if a first-degree relative has it too. The environment may also contribute to it with things such as abuse, stress, or traumatic events. They might trigger bipolar disorder too. Substance abuse doesn't cause bipolar disorder, but it can make the symptoms worse, so be careful with that. Then there is the diathesis stress model. The easiest way possible to describe this is that doctors think that if you end up developing this disorder, it's because you were already born with that possibility inside of you and something throughout your life triggered it. Now let's move on to the important part. If you have bipolar disorder, how do you cope with it? First of all, you need to identify the symptoms you have when you're about to have a manic or a depressive episode. You need to recognize the symptoms and identify the triggers. The triggers may be stress, problems at work or at school, financial issues, fighting with a loved one, lack of sleep, or even seasonal changes. You should make a list of symptoms that you have during your manic or depressive episodes, and when you start to feel that those symptoms are approaching, you can start checking off the boxes so you can mentally be ready and prepared and be fully aware that you are going to have an episode. After identifying those triggers and symptoms, you should develop a wellness toolbox. What is this? This is a list of coping strategies you can do to try and maintain a stabilized mood. Try to get at least 8 full hours of sleep. Talk to a friend or a family member. Reduce the number of activities you are doing so you don't feel too stressed. Try to do some physical exercise, cut on sugar, alcohol, and especially caffeine, and try to increase your exposure to the sun. This is very important and it can help you reduce the symptoms of bipolar disorder. Having a wellness toolbox is very important, but if you get a relapse, you should also have an emergency plan. And what is an emergency plan? The emergency plan should have a list of emergency contacts like your doctor or your therapist, your close family members, or some friends, people you can call at any time of the day to help you. You should also have on paper a list of all the meds you are taking and the dosage. Symptoms that indicate that others should be responsible for you. You can also add treatment preferences like who you want to take care of you if you are not well, the people that can make big decisions for you if you are incapable of doing them, the meds that work and don't work for you, and those type of specific things. Another advice is do not isolate yourself. Always talk to people regularly, call your friends, check up on your family members, have a workout buddy, meet new people online, join a club or take a class. It's very important to always be in contact with other people when you have bipolar disorder. You should also stick to a daily schedule. Your sleeping, your eating, your exercise habits have a huge impact on your mood. Set times for your particular activities. Now, there are several treatments for bipolar disorder, thankfully, and and I'm going to talk a little bit about all of the ones I've researched and know that exist. First of all, there are several medications for bipolar disorder, and they're usually mood stabilizers. People with bipolar disorder should not treat depressive episodes with antidepressants as if it was a normal depression disorder, because it is not the same and it may lead to a manic episode, which is something we do not want either. People with bipolar disorder usually take lithium carbonate, anticonvulsant meds. They are sometimes used for hypomania, and antipsychotics. When we're talking about psychotherapy, CBT is also very good for bipolar disorder because it makes you view your life in a new perspective and change your negative thoughts to more positive ones. It may also help you identify the triggers of your disorder, and it can help you find effective coping strategies for your episodes. There's also interpersonal and social rhythm therapy, which focuses on the stabilization of daily rhythms, which was what I was talking about earlier, such as sleeping, waking, meal times. It's very important that you stick to a regular schedule. But if you are even looking for further options, there are 3 other options that I'm going to talk about. The first one is electroconvulsive therapy. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Is this a real type of therapy? Not like a very bad method and scary method. It's nothing like that. I'm going to explain to you how this works. This is usually for patients that have severe mania or depression and who do not respond to medication, or even pregnant patients. First, the patient is given anesthesia and a muscle relaxant, and then while they're asleep, a small electric current is passed through electrodes placed on the scalp, and it produces a seizure. It's less than a minute, it's for a very short time. This usually involves 12 sessions, and they're administered 3 times a week, I think, and during this time mood stabilizers are discontinued. The second one is called vagal nerve stimulation. The doctors implant a device that sends electrical signals to the vagus nerve to treat depression. The last one is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, and it involves an electromagnetic coil that sends electric currents and stimulates brain cells in the mood centers of the brain. As you can see, there are many types of treatment for bipolar disorder, so if any doctor diagnoses you with this disorder, don't panic. This is a very common disorder and medicine is very well developed in this area, I think. I hope you learned a bit more about bipolar disorder today. I really hope this was helpful. Once again, leave this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below. I'll see you on my next video.